Okay, question that I got as what's the most interesting thing to happen to you or within you over the past couple of years? And I was actually thinking about this in the water today. Actually coming into the knowing, like the real knowing that you can have exactly what you desire in this world. Like coming into the knowing that you are the only thing that stands in the way of you. Your eyes, your ability to see is the only thing. Your ability to cultivate willpower is the only thing that stands in the way of you actually receiving what you're asking for. It's daunting. And then also recognizing how people react to the difference in energy when you start to walk with that realization, right? So for me to know that I can actually not work with people who don't align with me and give my full energy and keep pulling back more aspects of my energy to give to folks who are resonant recipients of what I've come here to be, I can actually live out my purpose, man, that's a big one. So that would be probably one of the most expansive and sometimes expensive experiences of my life, to come into that realization and then to know that I can help other people to walk in the same path. I've cultivated a lot of experience and there's more for me to gain, but right now it's like, wait. You get to live where you want to live. You are free, not so free as in I've escaped the earth and I can go anywhere, any given instant, but I can set and chart a plan. I can adapt to things that come my way, and I can really show up. I can decide how I'd like to show up and then do my best and continue to cultivate that over time. I'm now doing things that I've dreamt about doing for the longest time, and my dreams aren't what everyone may think. Having simplicity, being able to move from one space to the next, not being in a state of constant aggravation, anger, frustration, being triggered. I do have what one could call a sensitive nervous system, but I've also learned how to toughen up my nervous system. And then being able to utilize whatever skill set that I choose and that I'm open to choosing as a vessel to benefit the people around me. And knowing now I'm even choosing who do I get to benefit and not. Because I've had some time to really witness the interplay. And there's a lot that actually, believe it or not, I keep to myself, about my past, about my history. I'm open to share certain things for the right individual, asking the right questions, discernibly coming from the right space. And other people just have to get to know me or to witness me. So I would like to know from you, if you're open to sharing, those of you who catch this later, even if you don't feel to share, it's something to consider. Something to consider in your journaling, in your moving through life, in your being bombarded with all the other information, things that we consume on Instagram, on YouTube. For your life, currently, what is the most important, the most recent pivotal thing that you have recently allowed to penetrate your being and is shifting your current experience of reality? For me, it is getting a taste of more and more of my own personal power and being able to know that I can do what I feel is right with that. And also the responsibility that I have to continue to cultivate that within myself for legacy, for the thing that I deem aligned, for my own principles, and getting to stand in those principles and to witness how many times in my life that I've been the one to throw my own principles away or not take the time to get to know these so-called principles and why I love them and align to them, and then walk and see what life echoes back. It's good. It's a good thing that we're here. We're beautiful beings. We have a great opportunity, even amidst all of what we would consider to be evil, ugly, trashy, tacky, terroristic, unfoldments in the world. We have been given this opportunity to be here, to cultivate, and to also really create a beautiful dynamic of thinking, imagining, envisioning, speaking, projecting, acting, willing things into the universe and allowing it to echo back the aye, Captain. And life begins to speak back to you, and it gives you things. Aloha, awakened soul. I'm just speaking to this question that was asked. Every once in a while I get questions in my DM, and love it. The question was essentially, hey, what recently has happened, what thing in your life has really opened your eyes, has left you in a state of, I'm adding more to it, surprise. But what's shifted for you? What's the big thing? Aha. And my big recent aha, the big thing that's, been super transformational, but also I could say it can be daunting at times, but daunting in the best way, because it's a call to action, is to know how much true power I have over my experience here in life. How much power I have over what I choose to take into the system, and that it's okay. If I disappear from Instagram for a little bit, it will be okay. But I know that we have, typical addictions to what we consume, but to really step away and everything continues in status quo. But when I choose to show up in the truth of who I am, when I choose to really be aware of what I'm thinking of and what I'm reflecting into the world, it responds back. So really it's daunting to think that I can actually have whatever I want, and then to look around myself, to feel the space that I'm in, to feel the clientele that I'm working with right now, to look at my interaction with nature, to listen to what's changing in my body, to allow my heart to relax from all these relationships that I've been in over the past double decades plus, right? And to hear what it's learned from those relationships and how it still wants to love. But exactly where is it at in that process as a man who holds space for men and women, and holds space for them in the eventuality of them speaking to the things that they don't want to put words to just yet, but I already know because I've navigated those spaces. And so, to hold back the piercing power of my gaze, but to know that this gaze will penetrate as it's called to do for the betterment of humankind, starting with myself, starting with my reflection. It's epic. It's epic and it's daunting. You out there and I'm pointing those fingers back at me too, you get to have what you desire. You are constantly getting exactly what you're asking for. It's just you don't know how much of you is asking for that thing that's unfolding and how much of you is asking for this thing that's unfolding. And even in not asking, that you're asking for something. So coming into more clarity, more coherency, more alignment actively, right? It's a big deal. And it helps to deliver. And so it's beautiful to be in that feedback loop. And I'm also in a state of more prayer, right? In prayer, I don't mean praying upon someone. I don't mean, oh, please. But it's like, I would really like to continue to move slow. I think I want to call in more humility on my end. I want to navigate with areas where I have my own grandiosity and my belief, my magical thinking, and step into just the alignment of receiving as a vessel to give, because when I'm in that space, I see beautiful things. And what does it mean to do that? For me now, it means something totally different than it has meant over the years. In the past, there was a lot of martyrdom. Now it means taking the time to see what's the most aligned thing. What is my main thing? I have some clarity now on the main thing. And to dedicate the asset of my attention, my intention, my thoughts, my words to cultivate my willpower out of addictive behaviors. I help people with addiction. And so furthermore, I can really see a lot of the addictive behaviors within myself. Could be going through YouTube, spending too much time there, or even jumping on Instagram every second. Not so much that I'm really, I need everyone's approval. If you looked at my page, it's not about getting a ton of viewers, although I would expect more people at some point will look back and be like, man, this guy's really been speaking truth, but there's so many people speaking truths out there. So whoever catches this is meant for you. What's important for me now is to enter a new level of sobriety. Okay, some of you know that I work with medicines, plant medicines. But I'm always thinking, because I'm utilizing the medicines to help people out of certain levels of toxicity. But I've also gone long periods of time without navigating with any of the medicines. So I'm not in between two stalls, as they say. I know that each thing is a tool. Many plants that you eat are medicines, but the combinations of certain plants can create systematic issues based on the chemistry. And I don't know that a lot of people think about it. So here in Tulum, folks are hitting it every weekend. Boom, boom, boom. And I think to do that, you have to have a certain constitution. And so maybe the dieta helps to give you a little bit of that constitution. But for the most part, in my opinion, a lot of the folks do not have the proper constitution. May come with a lineage. I have a lineage, and I've seen what some of those folks what they actually look like and how they get down, and then to come into building a proper constitution based on your intake, what you see, what you listen to, what you're eating, what you're breathing, right? The impressions that are being brought to you, how you navigate that, the quality of the food, because we can eat different qualities of food, but you become a different quality of what you've taken in, I should say. So I think I can kind of wind this down now in saying, wow, for me, being able to, and actually starting to look around and giving myself the time to witness what has been cultivated through my intention and consistency over the years and the hard decisions, right? I've chosen my purpose. I've chosen it over relationship because I know the proper relationship will be within my purpose. And also I know that relationships don't end. So if you were watching Ez some years back with, say, Alpha, Silfath, Amma, Danny, I still have tremendous love and respect for these women. And also, if you've watched, life has brought them into beautiful connections, as it has brought me into a beautiful connection. And so I think what's important for all of us to do is recognize our power in this life, and we have the opportunity to choose not the status quo, but to choose true alignment. And when you do that, it may not be easy, but if you give time, it will reward you for making what seemed to be the hard choice, but was the most aligned choice. And that choice is aligned to principles. And I know some of you have very different principles than the others. Need not create conflict between us, because you can take your principles and be where your principles are accepted. And that's the truth of life that I just accept and I live by. So I'm choosing the highest alignment for the work that I'm called to do, but I'm also choosing, hear me out, I am choosing now to grant myself the most beautiful experience of being, living, which means I'm going to allow my magnetic masculinity to unfold itself, and I already see what it's bringing, and it's not what many young men are thinking. Yes, magnetic masculinity will allow women to be attracted to you in your truth. Oli, what's up, my brother? I would love to check in with you soon, as well, as I've been connecting with a lot of my family. That magnetic masculinity allows you to really tune into what it is that you are, to deeper understand your journey as a man in the body of a man, or in navigating with masculinity. That masculinity is not going to burn your physical body out as a man because you're born for it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And so being able to navigate in that space and get to know yourself to a deeper level, navigating with me in the journey that I'm on, excuse my voice, there we go, navigating with me on some of these journeys where we really get to deep dive into your experience. What is it that you would like to experience? What are you using to, if we can use my brother's word, fuel, right? What is the fuel? What is the fire behind your activities? Is it the right? Is it the most aligned? Is it the core, connected, coherent principles that actually feed your heart? Or are these things, is it junk food? Are you moving off of junk food? So when you connect to the real things that fuel you, the aligned, right, honorable, balanced navigation of yourself in this world, doing the thing that you've been called to do, despite what anyone else thinks, but in a way that you can spot, you're aware of the benefit, not just for yourself, but for the people included, then you can make the hard decisions and know that time will favor you in the long haul. And so for me, Ezria will have the best sex, attached to the deepest, most profound experience of love, connected to most fulfilling unfoldment in family life, which means now, and it's happening already, I'm getting to connect with my family members who I haven't spoken to in years and take the lessons of my journey and share with them, and also my soul family, my friends. So I'm creating a life to where I'm not saying, damn, I wish I had more time for the people I love. No, I've got the time and I'm making the time, right? Then there's the finances and the abundance and the wealth. The question would be, what is your actual wealth? Your wealth may not necessarily be money. Money's included. Money can help you to cultivate wealth, but being able to differentiate between the two, because people chasing after money, and I get to work with some of them as well, the money's got them chasing, okay? But to put all that into the proper context and to say, okay, I have this tool coming in, and I have the thing that really means something to me, and being able to allocate that towards that and get an abundant received, dividend, if you will, to receive the unfoldment, the bounty, the fruit of that, and allow that to be replanted. It's pretty amazing. And so we do it in very different ways. But to be able to really call that into sight, to have it on paper, to have it in your journal, your logbook, so to say, and I have quite a few, right? And to notice over time that you are making the right moves. You have the right assistance for your discernment. You are able to utilize the tools that have been given to you so long ago that maybe you thought, I messed up here. No, you haven't. You're not done yet, fellas, men, women as well. We can still course correct or recognize if we've been on the correct course and not fool ourselves. But what it takes is us being able to look at where you're at now, being able to identify again the gold that life has given you, and then to keep your attention on that. Identify the things that are taken away, but keep your attention on the main thing. And if you don't know what the main thing is yet, get some assistance, right? All you have to do is figure it out. And there's ample support, not just me, it's around. I promise you. Come back and say, as you told me so. And I'll high five you. I'll give you the aloha shaka. Yeah? If anyone has anything that they'd like to share based on just this mini live, please, now's the time. Take a sip of water. Actually, I'll wait. Ollie, I'd like to come pay a visit, brother. I'd like to go to Germany, and I'm also actually putting in my book, the times. I may actually come when it's very cold this time, but I still have the jacket, right? I have my winter clothes. I can handle it now that I got a taste of it. I would absolutely like to see you. Are you thinking about, at any chance, coming out to Tulum? Please let me know in advance, because I have some really nice experiences lined up for some of the men coming out this way. And I'd love to expose you to, and give you a proper introduction to the energies of this land, the people. I'm connected to people where we can also get you space to perform. So I'd love to see you just in your glory, in the beautiful glory of all that you are, enjoying the space and also sharing your magic and your music. All right, remember I put that out into the universe. So we'll toast it up when the time happens. I'm going to get going now. I need to move on to my next things. My question for you, really, look back. Look through the past couple of months. Think, what has been the most pivotal thing to unfold for you? What is it showing to you about your life right now? And how can you take that and capitalize on it? For me, the pivotal thing was actually realizing I have the power to make decisions in and of itself, just because I want to, that are going to bring me closer to the life that I want to create. I can create the life that I want. Now, actually walking, continuing to make the decisions that get me there, and then stepping into that life is amazing. Now I have to think of the next version of the life I want. And I think that's a gift in of itself. And the other thing is taking the time to identify the good that you've done. We tend to beat ourselves up as men. I'm a Virgo, right? So I can easily jot down the things that I think I didn't do right yesterday and even this morning. But I'm also able to pivot, course correct, and actually generate will on the fly to now say, okay, I'm going to take little step, and those little steps count. And the other thing that's important to me at this point in life is understanding all of our gross journey as human beings with this thing that we call sobriety. Why is it important, right? What are the different levels of sobriety? Because many people are intoxicated by many different things, and they just look at someone intoxicated with alcohol, someone on so-called drugs, but most of our population are on drugs. They also are navigating, if you were to really dig into it, with food combinations that create an alcohol-induced state, and they go and drink on top of that. So the people in the streets who can barely afford any alcohol and who are in a drunk state may be in less of a drunk state than the average populace. That's a big statement. It's a big statement, and it's nothing new. So I invite you to look into that, and also to identify the mixtures of foods that you put into your system and how they shift your ability to be clear, present, powerful. If any of you are interested, here's the call to action. If you're interested in working with me, the door is open, but it's got to be in alignment. For me, alignment is, okay, we talk, you jump on it, right? Because I'm not a procrastinator. 2, you will do the assignments and the things. You show up as best as you can, which is a high expectation that I have. I have an expectation if you're already working with me, and then we nail it. Then within 8 weeks or less, you start to begin to see a different life. And perhaps some of the guys that are working with me now may catch this, and I invite you to, as you've mentioned, share your testimonies, but there's no pressure. I'd rather you, instead of dropping testimonies, I'll do this stuff. You guys keep moving, okay? Because that's like, you're adding more to the pot, and I'm going to help you kind of smooth that thing out. All right, excellent. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and there it is. Shaka, shaka, aloha in the middle of the week. Those of you in Tulum, please come. Men, specifically, check out Mentorship. It's going down tonight. Radio Tulum in the center, the heartbeat of town. And we got the heartbeat of the men connecting with each other. Those of you who will be around tomorrow, for the ladies, I only offer typically one event where we can both get together, the men and the women, to receive, to understand one another, to witness each other, to honor with proper respect and dignity the experience of our divine feminine, and to receive, right? And then also for the women to get an insight as to the work that the men are doing within themselves on shared topics. That will be tomorrow at Holistica. They graciously asked me to come and continue. Now I have some years now holding space for men and women very consistently, internationally, and it's been an honor, and also there's a lot to consider. And so take advantage of the opportunities to meet with men and women. I'm focused on the men in dedication to the women to come and the women of yesteryear, you should say. And so you'll see how it unfolds. Thank you. Aloha. Awakened Soul Community. Basei. We'll take a breath together. Receive this love and aloha, and catch up with me soon. I'll have some collaborative lives coming your way later this week in preparation for the Obsidian Soul Lounges. And I'll tell you more about it in times to come. If you're curious, just flip through my Instagram. Okay. Love you guys. Aloha. And catch us on YouTube as well.